If you are a regular viewer of the International Screenwriters Association's YouTube channel or our Pro Tips and Tricks page, you know that about once a week we put out a video called First Impressions, which is where we take the beginning of a movie, the first handful of pages, show it with the finished film, and the purpose of that is, well, hopefully it's entertaining, first off, but also it is really fun to see how the screenplay, even once you get it all the way to the shooting script, still changes. Changes happen on set, changes continue to happen in the editing suite. So it is fun to show a revised shooting script that shows what exactly was changed, even from the very, very end of the writing process through to the release of the film. Well, with Free Guy coming out on home video now, available on Disney, Hulu, HBO, we thought it would be really fun to cover this movie, which was one of the biggest hits of the pandemic era. However, the screenplay that is out there and available to find is not the shooting script. It is not the final draft, the final version of the screenplay, and actually only contains the name of Matt Lieberman on the title page. However, the final version of the film was written by Matt Lieberman and Zach Penn. Matt Lieberman has a handful of other features under his belt, including the somewhat popular Netflix Christmas movie, The Christmas Chronicles, as well as the recent CG version of The Addams Family. However, when they brought aboard Zach Penn, they got the guy that wrote Ready Player One, which is a direct connection to a movie like Free Guy, a movie about a big open world video game and things going not according to plan, let's just say, within that game. So obviously, once Zach Penn is going to come aboard, it is going to go to a different level. So I wanted to take a look at the version of the screenplay written by Matt Lieberman, just the beginning of it, like we usually do with First Impressions, not to criticize it at all, but just to, again, take a look at what was changed, and we'll kind of try to analyze it. And of course, I always want to hear from you what your takes are on it. Do you disagree on any opinions of why I think certain changes were made? As you see, we have the final version of Free Guy on the left-hand side and the original screenplay on the right. So right off the bat, we have a lot different. We have a ton different from the very beginning. The only thing that's about the same is that we have Guy in voiceover, and of course, Guy is Ryan Reynolds' character. In the finished film, we have a lot of exposition. We are establishing the world a lot more. That sunglasses people are the players. We, of course, as the audience, understand that sunglasses people are avatars for real-life people in our world playing this video game that Guy is a part of. In the screenplay, a bona fide square-jawed action star, cool haircut, cooler sunglasses, leather jacket, runs down a city with a sly smirk and a briefcase filled with money. In voiceover, Guy. Everybody thinks they're the main character in their own story. He slides across the hood, muscle car speeds off. But someone's got to be the bad guy. The overbearing mother, the love interest. Cop chases after him, beautiful woman swoons. All I'm saying is that maybe some of us are the supporting characters in someone else's cooler, funnier, action-packed adventure. We rack focus behind the swooning woman to settle on a random bystander walking through the background. This is Guy, 30s, well-kept, blue button-up shirt, clean cut. Just an average, nothing spectacular kind of guy. Sometimes I sure feel that way. I mean, otherwise my life would make for one boring story. So something we do get from page one of the screenplay is a little bit of insight on who Guy is and what his inner monologue is, that he is not exactly satisfied with his world, that maybe he doesn't think he's in a game, but he doesn't feel like the main character. And if nothing else, he is obviously not satisfied with his life, especially saying just flat out, my life would make for one boring story. Free City Day. A northern metropolis hums with life, small cluster of skyscrapers old and new, surrounded by urban sprawl. Bridges extend over rivers that stream out to a busy harbor, highways jammed with rush hour traffic. There's a big park with a small zoo, sizable lake. What an incredible amount of detail in this. Probably more than we need, I would say. A theater district with a flashy city square, elevated trains, subway stations. Doormen stand outside million-dollar condos, and bodegas sell lottery scratchers. Compare that with what we see in the film. Huge explosions. It is over-the-top action. And then we head into Guy's life. In the original screenplay, he's walking in the background of the action scene we open with, but in the finished film, he's not part of that at all. In both cases, we see Guy starting his day. An alarm clock goes off, Guy wakes up, goes through his well-worn routine, showers, brushes his teeth, makes a muscle in the mirror, tries to make it look bigger, stares at 2 suits, 3 blue Oxfords in his closet. Every day I do this. However, in the film, he's talking about living literally in paradise. He is completely content and happy, even amazed with his life, even though we as outsiders, as the audience, can see that, boy, this is a very routine and boring life, even though he lives in a wild city. He even gushes over the fact that he gets to work at a bank. In the screenplay, we see him do a workout. We don't see that in the film. We go straight to his kitchen, eating a bowl of cereal, which he does as well. But even here, he's mocking himself. I was given the gift of life, and this is how I spend it. The film allows us this opportunity to establish the world a little bit. There's chaos on the news, and Guy seems super content with it. It's just another cheery day in paradise for him. We then head to the coffee shop. Guy stands in line for coffee. The barista is ready for him. Medium coffee, cream, 2 sugars. Pathetic, Guy thinks to himself, because his life is so predictable. Whereas in the film, Guy is, again, very, very happy with everything. We also get to hear his catchphrase that is established only in later versions of the script. Don't have a good day, have a great day. The next short sequence is very similar, where he is lusting after some sneakers, but he's a little short on cash for it. It's kind of funny that the screenplay has him a little closer towards his target funds. And while he might be a little bit frustrated in the film, Guy comes off as more defeated in the screenplay. I have dreams, but I can't achieve them. The next scene unfolds similarly, with Guy and Buddy walking down the street together. Obviously, they're good friends. However, the world that we're in is established a bit through character, because we see that Buddy and Guy, they don't have unique personalities. They are the same person, just cheery, happy, rolling with it. Even the store clerk that gets robbed and thrown out of a window, he is just as happy and personality free as Buddy and Guy. Whereas in the screenplay, Guy is debating over should he help out this situation. Also, he's having an existential crisis from the beginning of the conversation. Do you ever feel like we're just going through the motions, never deviating from our comfort zones, never making decisions that actually enrich our lives? Of course, Buddy is non-receptive. Maybe we could take on a new hobby like rock climbing. Yeah, it's dumb. We can try cooking class. It'd be a good way to meet girls. So Guy is trying to expand his horizons. He's looking for something more. Buddy is the one that is definitely sticking to his programming. Once the crime happens, Guy states we should probably do something. Buddy, even though Buddy's the security guard, says we should not get involved. Guy, this whole city is going down the tubes. Seems like every day we see another flagrant crime go down in broad daylight. Yeah, well, there's nothing we can do about it. The cops are in the pockets of criminals. Says who? Buddy points to a newspaper headline that literally says, police in the pockets of criminals. Don't make waves, Guy. You know, I heard of this guy, not you, Guy, but a guy who tried to stop a crime once, tried to be a hero, and let's just say he regretted it. So before moving forward anymore, let's think about this and wonder, why this big change in Guy? When we think about where does the screenplay begin, or even where does the scene begin, the idea is always, let's have us jump into a story already in progress. So we aren't starting from zero, that there's actually some momentum moving forward, and no time is wasted. We are into the action immediately. We usually try to get straight into things, and that is good advice. However, there is a lot of joy in seeing this character growth, that he starts out following the programming like the clerk, like Buddy. We get to experience that moment of the world changing and his perspective changing. And of course, when you have an actor as talented as Ryan Reynolds on board, it's fun to see him do anything. So give him more to do, give a character more to do. And of course, something I haven't mentioned yet is the million ways we have seen chaos in the background of so many of these shots. Very high budget things, which usually you might not want to put into a screenplay because it's going to seem too impossible to make, which is maybe a good tell that you can start a little bit lower, a little bit more modest, and you can always add explosions in after the fact. Thanks for watching. I definitely want to know your opinions on the screenplay versus the film for Free Guy. You can find this older script out there. It's very findable just by searching Free Guy Screenplay. Feel free to take a look at the rest. If there are any other individual scenes or moments you want me to comment on, let us know. Also, we will have another edition of the screenplay formatting series for you, this time looking at the movie The Dark Knight. The ISA always has more events coming up, so definitely check out networkisa.org/events, and maybe I'll see you at our next virtual or in-person event. Thanks.